Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorial Thursday. Hi Shelly, hi Brian. So this is a live tutorial, so if you're watching it after the live, you'll notice that I talk to people in the chat and answer questions. But tonight we are going to start back to the basics of how to bloom, and I'm going to show you how to mix everything. So I didn't have any Bear 8300 handy. So tonight we're going to give the Bear Dynasty an equal chance. Hi Susan. Hi Sherry. Hi Darnell. Hi Moose. We'll give everyone a chance to get in. Hi Doris. So we will be using the Golden Carbon Black and the Amsterdam Titanium White 4-cell activators, along with the Australian Floetrol. We'll be using the Josanya varnish along with the Bear Dynasty for our pouring medium. I'll be showing you how to mix a liquidy paint, how to mix a primary elements, a TLP, this little piggy, and also our beach retreat. So we're going to do 4 different mixes tonight, so you can see how to mix all those. And we'll be using these 4-ounce mixing cups, which are available in my Etsy shop, along with the Josanya, and I did put the links down below. Hi Vic, hi Kathy, hi Joy, Deirdre, hi Barbara. So normally I use the Sherwin-Williams HGTV because I still have some left, and my friend Shelly gifted me a gallon for my birthday. I love her. Love you, Shell. So, but I want to try this out. Normally I would use that along with the polyacrylic from Minwax, but tonight we'll stick with the recipe. So most of the people I know are using the Josanya, so we'll be using that. Let me show you last week's paintings. So they dried pretty nice. This is the second one that we did. And this is the first one that we did. They dried nice, no cracking. Everything's kosher. And I do want to just make a point that Shelly was the one that came up with the idea to add the satin enamel. So I just want to make sure that we give her credit for that. We did collaborate on recipes, so I want to make sure that that's noted. All right, guys, you ready? Hi, Lady Jax. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. So another little trick I want to show you before we even do this, when you're prepping tiles, right? Taping, it's not fun, is it? So I came up with a new way to do this. Put your tape on, grab a dark pencil and rub your edge like this. You can peel back your tape a little bit and cut it right on the line. Now, I came up with this when I was doing all the tiles for the retreat because I had 2 cases of tiles to take, and I didn't want to sit there and use an X-Acto knife because I would have went through probably 30 blades. But there you go. It's all taped. Easy peasy. Okay. So I'm not going to mix this up as a pouring medium. I'm going to do this differently. I need to get a opener for this though. Aww. I think I packed them for the retreat. Hang on while I grab a screwdriver. I should have looked for that before I started doing anything today. With a screwdriver, you got to do it more times than just a couple. Okay. So that's interesting. It's got a little beige tinge to it. Let's give it a stir and see what it does. Now I did get the deep base. And the green can, super thick. Love that it's super thick because I like my pigments on the thick side. I'm hoping my mods will be able to answer some questions for you if you have them in case I miss. So we'll see how that goes. These cups I have in my Amazon shop. You can get 2 ounce or 4 ounce. Let's start with TLP pigment. This is called Sequins. So when you're using a pigment, you want to disperse them with the alcohol. And if you're going to be mixing a lot of pigments, please wear a mask. The micas are not good to inhale. So we're going to start with about half a teaspoon. We're going to add some Josania varnish to disperse the pigment. Because I didn't make a pouring medium, I find this works much easier. This will be your additive to the untinted house paint. So what you're making is a slurry, and you want to make sure you stir it really well and not leave any chunks behind. So it should be runny like this, just like if it's the varnish. And now we'll add some of this. So because I used a teaspoon, I want to shoot for 3 teaspoons of this. So after I get 2 in, I'm going to give it another stir. Now with interference pigments, it doesn't really matter, but when you're using colors, you want to just add a little bit at a time because you don't want to lose your color. So you can check for your thickness. You don't want this runny. Blooms are done with a thicker paint. I'm going to go just a little bit more because I know that's not thick enough for me. You want it to hold its shape when you put it down and not run out into the white or black that you're using. This is perfect. So it can make a ribbon and slide off the spoon easily. So that's our interference. This is called Sequins. I'll set that aside. And if anybody that was at the retreat, I opened the pigment box today and half of them tipped over. Some of them leaked. What a mess. So next year we'll be mixing them at the retreat. Yeah, it was fun. Okay, that's our sequins. So let's do a color art pigment. This one is called Temptation. I like this color very much. add our little teaspoonful. It comes out to about half a teaspoon with that little spoon. And then we'll add our Josania. Yeah, I think the bin might have gotten tousled around a little bit. And that's why they were all, some of them were sideways, some of them were upside down. What a mess. It was fun for me to sit there and clean it all out. But I got everybody's paintings boxed up and invoiced for shipping, so I thought, well, I'll do that today. Okay. This is so pretty, isn't it? Can barely see it, but there's that purpley pink. It's a very gorgeous color. So now I'm going to do this one at a time with the color, because I don't want to lose that depth of that color. Might have been your driving, Ellen. I won't blame it on you, though. It's probably just carrying the totes in, too. Things slide around. It's good. It's all good. As Jimmy would say, it's all good. One more little one. It's very easy to mix pigments. See, we didn't lose any of that color. Gorgeous. Right? Very pretty color. Can't get the right light there, can I? Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so I bought these a while ago. These are opaque paints from Jacquard. You can get these at Michael's. Jerry's Artorama probably has them too, because I think Shelly got hers at the show. These are what you want for your first color down. It will hold all your gorgeous pigments above it so they don't sink. So now this is more of a liquidy, like a craft paint kind of. So we don't really have to disperse this, but I want to see how it's going to set in the cup. So I'd say it's a soft body. So you don't need a lot of this either. Got 2 cups there. Why are you sticking? Well, guess it's going to have 2 cups. Alright, let's add some of our base, which is the Bear Dynasty. Get it blended in with that. I like to add at least 1 tube paint, or like one of our Praj Posse paints, because it does help keep the colors up on top. So when you blow out, you're not pushing them down into the white. Alright, 1 more spoon of this, and then we'll give it a little shot of the Josania. I could probably go a little bit more, because it's holding its color well. Alright, so you have to add the Josania though, because we want that varnish in there, because that does help with the cells. I added it slowly. I may give it 1 more little squirt, so we get a full teaspoon. think we're there. I'm not going to mess with that. That's pretty good. Okay, so we know there's no pigment there. That's not going to settle to the bottom. Pigments do like to fall to the bottom, so before you get ready to paint, make sure you mix your pigments really well. Scrape that bottom. I have some amazing stir sticks in my Etsy shop that work for that. You can go in at an angle and get all that mica off the bottom. That link is below as well. Okay, so let's try our beach retreat color. I've been wanting to mix this for blooming. I know this jug is almost empty, so I'm not even going to try to squeeze it, because I have tons of paint to mix. Okay, let's do 1 scoop. Oops, I gotta wipe that up because I don't want that there. A little sloppy. Okay, so this is if you were taking a Praj Posse paint out of the jar. This is how you would mix it. And they work amazing, guys, for blooming. They're not just for acrylic pouring. So let's add, let's do 2. So when you open your can of untinted house paint, like this, whether it's the 8300 or another brand, it has to be the high gloss. If it's white, your colors will pastel out on you, but they will dry the original color. But I do, when I go to Home Depot and I have her check paints for me, we put them, she gives me a little swatch and she dries it with her blow dryer and makes sure that that's going to work for me. She kind of knows what I'm doing with my artwork, so she, when I come in, she knows me. Okay, that's very thick. We're going to add some more Josanya. Now, if you add that whole teaspoon of Josanya and it's still too thick, you can use what we call Jowa, which is 1 part Josanya, 3 parts water. See how thick it still is? It's not running off my spoon. So instead of adding a ton more varnish, I'm going to go ahead and add the Jowa. Just remember, it's 3 to 1. I have also used GAC 800 to thin, but the Jowa is still the varnish. So now she's running off my spoon. She's good. Alright, so there's our 4 colors. I like to have an interference when I mix, so we got our interference. We're good. Any questions thus far? Hi, Tammy. It's okay if you're late. You can always go back and watch the beginning. But we are done mixing the pigment part. No questions. You guys are amazing. Okay. Colors are done. And I like to mix these the day before I use them normally, because the pigment has time to relax. Same with your cell activators, but I've been using it fresh and I haven't had too many problems. The Bear that I'm using is the Bear Dynasty, Laura. I couldn't find my 8300. It's buried in the bottom of my bookcase probably. So I wanted to try the Bear Dynasty anyway, so that's what we're going to try. Okay, Golden's Carbon Black. This stuff is like tar. So when you're mixing this for cell activator, you're going to have to use more Aussie Floetrol than normal. I can show you. Look how thick this stuff is. It's like tar. Doesn't even want to come off the stick. That's how thick this stuff is. I'm on my second one, and I've shared some of this with people because I have so much of it. It'll last you a very, very long time. Alright, so when you're mixing your cell activator, shake your Aussie Floetrol. Even if you think it's good at this point, shake it some more. Because it's so thin, all those little tiny particles of probably your polymers, are settling to the bottom. They're sticking to the jug. So make sure you shake it really well. Date your Floetrol when you buy it, because I always have a couple, so I want to make sure I use the oldest one first. Alright, so I'm adding the equal amount of what I did in paint to loosen this up. And you're going to be stirring like crazy. So if you don't like to stir paint, you definitely want to do this the night before if you're going to use a little mixer. No, the Aussie Floetrol does not need to be strained. There's a different kind of polymer in there that doesn't booger up on us. You know, the booger goober thingy. So this one does not have to be strained. I've never seen anything in it, unless maybe you get a bad one, maybe. But I've never seen anything come out of this but straight Floetrol. The Bear Dynasty might be a little bit thicker, Laura. They just seem to all be the same to me, the ones that I've used. I would compare it to the Sherwin-Williams, the HGTV one that we were using in the very beginning of blooming back in 2019. That Lowe's just so conveniently discontinued. Okay, so I'm at 3-to-1 right now. I love the Carbon Black so much better than the Amsterdam Black Oxide, yes. I have never had it fail me. You just have to stir more. But I do have the Black Oxide. I just haven't used it yet. Super thick still. I'm going to clean my stick again. I'm going to add a little more. So for your flow, your cell activator, the flow on this is going to be kind of like our pour painting paint. When you're mixing for like a ring pour or a flip cup. It's not going to be thin, and it's not going to be super thick, but it's going to be in between that where you can still see it, because if you get it too thin, it's going to sink. And then what happens is that's what creates those rivers in your tiles. Like I did these at the retreat, and they're perfectly flat, but if my cell activator would have been too thin, you would see all the rivers of my cell activator. So if you're having that problem with blooming, know that your cell activator is probably too thin. I don't know which Liquitex. What are you talking about, Susan? Okay, so we're good there. So I like to add just a little bit of GAC 800. Oh, the Liquitex Black. I've never tried it. I started with what was working for everybody else. Because I wasn't getting any cells in the very beginning. Oh, the struggle was real. You guys are so lucky that we have done all the testing for you. But when we first started out, it was awful. Okay, I think I'm good. I still want to touch. Okay. Now you'll notice when I do the white that I don't use even half that much to break it down. That's perfect right there. And that may thicken up on me. If it does, I'll add a little bit more while it's sitting. I haven't had one lose its magic. And I haven't been one of those that got stuck with a bad one. But there's ways to fix that. Shelly has that in the Shelly Art group. She has a video how to fix the runny Floetrol. Because, I mean, it is kind of like milk. But this stuff that the girls were getting was like pure straight water. And that was the bad Aussie Floetrol. Alright, nice big scoop. Yeah, I haven't either, and I smell it. When I open it, I smell it. If it has a funky smell, I wouldn't use it, but mine smells like it should. Okay, so Nina, if you get the lines, the sunken lines, that means your CA is too thin. You want to, if you're going to do a swatch test, consistency test, your pillow, your colors, and your CA. So you want your pillow to run a little bit faster than your colors. You want your colors to run very slow, and you want your CA to be a little bit faster than your pillow. So there's a big difference in consistency on a bloom, but that's what makes it all work. I need just a little bit more, I think. Let me add my GAC 800 and see where I'm at from there. And just give it a squirt. And you can add the GAC 800 to your house paint as well. That helps with cracking. No, I'm going to leave it. It's actually good. So we're good on that one. Let's set that aside. Alright, let me move this. Okay, I'm going to grab my turntable while I'm up here. Get this stuff out. Yes, I use my colors thicker than my pillow, Brian. Because I want them to not open up with the pillow. I want them to stretch with the pillow. So let me move you up just a smidge. Okay, so the white paint that I'm using now for pillow, I still like my color place from Walmart. Don't get me wrong, I'll still buy it. But also the Multi-Pro PPG paint from Home Depot. This is eggshell. This is the number 473110. This is the one that you want to use for blooming. You guys can screenshot it if you want, write it down. But this is ready to go. You don't have to do anything to it. And I'm going to pour some in a jug so you can see the consistency. Because I has to stir it anyway. I can't believe we didn't even use a gallon at the retreat. I thought we'd go through a gallon. You can use colored house paint mousse. I love using color. I've done the blue that I painted my living room with. I've used that as a base. Black is great. Black is usually thicker, so you want to make sure you can thin it down with GAC 800. I don't like to add water to the pillow because then you run the risk of it cracking, crazing, splitting. Alright, so let me show you the consistency. So you want it kind of like ribbony. It's a little bit thinner than your colors. But some of the paints that you buy are so thin that they don't hold the color well. Okay, get some gloves on. Gotta get my studio back in order. It's disheveled. I've got block-offs everywhere so Finn can't get into anything. Okay, let me get my colors ready. So I'm going to do 2 with the white and 2 with the black so you can see the difference. My pigments have a ton of bubbles, see? This is why you want to mix them the night before. You can tap them, and that'll take the top bubbles off for you. Or you can lightly stir them, and that helps too. But I do like to tap them. It's an old baker's secret. Not really a secret, is it? See how they pop? Okay. So this is going to be a fun one. Now, if I'm using white as a cell activator, I will layer them differently because I want the white to show. But when I'm using black, I like to use my interferency colors because they look so much prettier under the black. So let's do our black first so I can get that one done. So you want a good sized pillow. I'm going to start with the jacquard. This was our opaque color. Now when you're doing your second color, I've learned this from experience. Don't plop it in the middle, because all that's going to do is make that purple spread out. So try to do your ring like this, so it's just sitting on top. I'm going to move these over here where they're safe, I think. This is our color art pigment. And this is sequins from this little piggy, which you can purchase through Fluid Art Co. Gorgeous colors. And I love color art too, so it's hard to be faithful to one when there's so many different companies now. All right. I had a spoon here waiting for me. There it is. Now, I'm probably going to have to blow these by... Nope, I got my dryer. I still haven't unpacked my little tools yet. So I'm going to use my hair dryer. And then you can always push your white out if you're going to play with it for a while. Because if you don't, you'll get a line where it's starting to dry, especially if it's very warm where you're painting. Okay. Let's see if Finn got this cord all tangled up. Alright, so you're not going to be able to hear me talk, so I'm not going to say anything while I blow this. Bear Dynasty works. That's good to see that. Anytime I'm trying out a new product, I get nervous, but it's definitely working. So what I'm doing now is just opening up the black. Let some colors come up through. We'll let that set a minute. Yeah, I can't puff, Joy. Not with my lungs. I tried in the beginning when the course first came out, and all I got were like spider legs. So I quit doing that. If I can find a tool that works, I'm going to use it so I don't have to damage my lungs any further. I do see a couple little... Now, I will use a straw, but they're very small ones. Did you notice how I already grabbed 2 cabs? Because I'm already seeing this and this. I love the little leaf blower. It works great for me with that attachment. Alright, let's spin this out a little bit. So because I already see this starting here, I'm good there. I don't have to move it. Don't have to adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead and dip while that's sitting there. Gorgeous cab. I need to get my holder. And I'm probably going to take this one here to be its mate because, well, this one's pretty. But as I sit and let that develop, it gets prettier too. What do you think, guys? My corner's not the greatest there, but if I spin it, I could probably spin it a little bit more. Let's see. I don't think it's going to make much difference, though, because there's not a lot of paint on there. Oh, it did shift over a little bit. So, yeah, I'm happy with that one. really miss my little palette knife. I don't know what happened to it. It must be in a bucket somewhere. I need to wash stuff. Oops, I got a corner here. All right. I'll take that one to the drying rack. Alright, so I'm just going to scrape this off into a cup because I'm not using my tub today. Because I have 7 tubs that need to be cleaned from the retreat. I don't want to dirty another one. Okay. That gives me a good base too for my next tile to stick to. Alright, let's do the same thing, and then we'll do the white cell activator. And then we have to change up the lineup. Alright. Pillow. Jacquard. Opaque. That color name is Violet. 2022 Beach Retreat. This is not opaque, this is translucent. Color Art Temptation. These are mostly semi-transparent colors. So they do like to also stain your white cell activator. So keep that in mind too. Best way to fix that is to add a little ink to your white cell activator. A little white ink. Alright, let's get our black down. Yes, it is expensive. This is an expensive technique. I'll get my corners covered first before I start monkeying, because I missed one on the other one. Something for the paint to slide over anyway. Okay. Now if I torch this, you'll see some cells pop up. See? Those are just air bubbles. Terry, I make magnets. You can use them for jewelry if you pull a big one. I've done necklaces with them. Right now all I have are the 25 mils, so I just use them for magnets. I just love this air. Okay. Are you guys buffering? Is it because my head was there? Better? It's probably because my head was there. Now I'm seeing some white spots that I don't like, so I'm going to fix those. You can grab a little bit of your pigment from here and touch over those, because I don't like speckles. So it's okay if we run over a little bit tonight too, because Mona's not doing a premiere tonight. Correct, Mona? If you're here? Or did you change your mind? She's having internet problems. Okay, one more. I'm going to go the other way. Beautiful. I'm loving this one. I love the center on that. She's pretty. Got one more white dot there. I didn't get it. Let me check my bubbles. There's one here. That's probably white, or bubbles in my white pillow that pop up through. Nothing to pull on this one. Off to the drying rack. It's yummy. Did I ever tell you guys how much I love to bloom? I could do it all the time, but nobody watches the videos. It's kind of a bummer, because I can make some beautiful things with blooms. So also, if I invited you to the Healing Arts auction, my boxes are going to be featured there on June 24th. I have 13 that I'll be auctioning off. Okay. Now we're going to try the white cell activator. And because I'm going to do that, I'm going to change up my order a little bit. Not much. So I'm going to start with the Beach Retreat color. Hope it behaves well on the bottom. Then we'll do, really want that on top. Okay, so we'll do the Temptation. And here's where we'll put the sequins, since we're using white. And I'm putting my opaque under my white. Crossing my fingers for some peacock cells. Okay. Let's give this one a go. Oh, I missed one. Hang on, guys. I'm going back. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Okay. So you'll notice with white cell activator, you get lots of little cells. I'm not sure why that happens. I think it has something to do with the titanium that's in here, because it's titanium dioxide, which is more of a powder form. So it's heavier and it just sinks much faster than the carbon black. So you're going to get more little cells. I'm still researching that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is. They're not bold like the black. That's why I like the black cell activator. And they take a little bit longer to develop too. So let's let that one set for a minute. I'm gonna grab a drink. Be like Moose and say, sippy, sippy, gotta hydrate. So they're coming. I might want to blow a little bit in there. So if my head gets in the way and it buffers, we'll know it's my head. All right, let's spin out a little bit. I have something really pretty here. Don't want to lose that when it comes off. All right. One more. Let's see if I can get that white corner off. I got it. So let's hope that white doesn't sink too much. Okay, I see one here I want to pull. And one over here. Pretty. Pretty, pretty. Alright, let's get this one taken care of. Pretty tile. So, hey Shell, I'm loving this Bear Dynasty. Girl, yeah, we need to use it. It's a little more expensive, but you know what? If you're gonna get blooms like that, it's worth it. You're not gonna struggle. Look at how pretty that is. And there it goes. All right, one more, guys. Okay, so we started with the beach retreat, right? Oh boy, I should have put them in order. See if I can remember. I think I already screwed up. Alright, let's do the opaque. Nope, that was last. It's this one. Now I remember. I had to think, okay, what goes under the white? This would stain it, so I didn't use that. Then we did the sequins. And then the opaque. Okay. Definitely I got to give my table a check this week, see why I'm going that way. Could just be my turntable. My spinner. Alright, let's blow this one out. Here it comes. Back to your home dryer. I've seen a spot there, I had to hit it. It's like a couple white dotties. I would not blow these out with an airbrush because you'll just muddy up your colors. So I'm like 4 inches away from my tile, so it's kind of like me just puffing air, so don't be afraid to use your airbrush. That way you can see where you're going. Because when you put your head down there, you don't know where you're blowing, so unless you've been doing this a while. But you can also do this with a straw. You don't have to have an airbrush. Alright, let's let that all come back together. Yeah, sheds are expensive, Linda. I have one payment left on mine, on my art shed. And already I want to go bigger, because I need more room. All that retreat stuff takes up all my space. Alright, let me get those little areas that I couldn't get with my airbrush. Okay, they're coming. Well, we have I want to say 16 by 20. Might be a 12 by 20. I know, we paid a lot. That was Alan's shed. My art shed, I think, is 12 by 12. It's just where I keep my packing peanuts and my bubble wrap and my mailing boxes. And then, like, my tumblers and stuff that I can keep out there in totes. But it serves its purpose. It keeps it out of here. This one's really pretty. I want to go one more just to see if I can move that. So many little cells. They're so pretty. I'm going to grab this purple here and hit that spot. Worked very well. Oh, that one was not good. I picked up white. There we go. So that's that one. So I'm going to pull 2 cabs off of this one too. I can see that already. Those 4 tiles will be for sale soon. If somebody wants them, just email me and I'll put them aside when they dry. Alright, so I wanted to pull right here because I thought this was very interesting. And I'll show you these next week so you can see how they dry. And this spot right here. Oh, or do I want that spot? Decisions. I'm going here. I don't have any light colored magnets, so this will be nice. Okay, students, any questions? No? So go back and re-watch if you're just learning how to bloom. Do it step by step like I did it with you. Sometimes, I'm going to tell you something though, sometimes it's in the blow that people fail. You want to glide that cell activator over the color, not push it out with the color, so you're going to turn your dryer sideways to blow it over the color. You can use anything for a CA, Susan, as long as it has enough opacity, because it has to sink. Moody Blue works, or Gold Rush works. There's several of the Praj Posse colors that work that I've seen artists use. Don't let him chew on a Powerball ticket, Alan. Even if it is a losing ticket. I dry them on cups. And I put them on my drying rack where there's no air blowing, because if I leave it here, it's just going to crack. Thank you, Doris. I appreciate you. You're awesome. So, if no questions, guys, I'll let you go. Thanks for coming to my tutorial. And we'll be back on Monday with some paint pouring fun. I got some new paints I want to try out Monday, so maybe we'll do a diptych or something. I definitely want to use some cradle boards with these colors. But I love you all, and I will see you all very soon. Bye now.